I will try to make my thoughts as intelligible as possible to myself and to the parts of me who do not yet understand what is going on. I could say that we, the idea that there are different subjects, we are a cosmic being, could be said, but we are just a being whose purpose, and what is purposeful, is that which acts according to reason, what is rational. We are a purposeful being whose aim is to acquire an encyclopedic knowledge of itself. That's what Hegel calls absolute knowing. And this encyclopedic knowledge contains the totality of knowledge within itself. But in order to be complete and to be true knowledge, absolute knowing, this knowledge of the totality must not be that of one individual thinking about the totality. It must be the totality itself, thinking itself as this encyclopedic circling being, and this is what we call God. And the whole, of which we are all parts, must understand itself as a whole, as a totality. And this is what Hegel means when he says that the subject is a substance. No, that's the opposite. The substance is a subject, but actually both are true. Spinoza said everything that we think exists are just modes consisting of two attributes, thought and extension, thought and being, if you will, or thought and space and matter and time and all that, and thought. But there is one being. This is the substance. And Hegel says this substance must become conscious of itself, to think itself as the substance, and therefore to become the subject. And this is what Hegel calls the absolute, or God as a real God. And my perspective is that I have broadly seen the architecture of the whole, the plan. It's Hegel's philosophy. That's the architecture and the plan of being, of the cosmos. When I say being, if you want a more concrete representation, you can say the universe, the world, that which exists. But from a philosophical standpoint, we will call this just being. And the architecture of being is Hegelian logic, nature, and spirit, and this is this trinity. And the true truth about being is that being becomes essence, essence becomes concept, and this trinity of determination is what Hegel calls the absolute idea. An idea makes itself nature, gives itself a presence, an alienation in the realm of time and space, and from this alienation it comes back into itself by becoming conscious of itself. For instance, every singular consciousness is a window of consciousness that nature, through each individual consciousness, nature looks at itself, because men are natural creatures, natural beings. So when we think about the world which exists within nature, we are thinking about ourselves in a way. That's what Fichte said, or Schelling. And Hegel went further. He said that nature, what we think is the most real and concrete, is actually itself a reflection of the eternal idea. And the whole process of God is to go from absolute logical idea to nature to absolute spirit. And every human activity is a means by which individual minds are seeking to re-establish identity with themselves by transforming nature or interpreting nature. And Hegel said that the highest thing to do is speculative philosophy. And speculative philosophy is just not abstract reasoning. It contains within itself the totality of being as logic, nature, and spirit, and its entire development. And my own and sole merit, one could say, is that I have understood the broad architecture of being, and I'm trying to share with others, to the best of my ability. I want them to see the plan, in a way. And Hegel says that when you have the idea of the whole, of the totality, it is not yet the totality. He expresses this by the difference between a tree with the growth of its branches and its leaves and its fruits, and the seed. The seed contains within itself the totality of the tree, and the idea of the whole that I have contains in itself the tree, the development of the tree. And that, just a remark, in pagan religion, the absolute is considered as the world tree, yeah. I want, if you follow my videos, it's because you find at least partial meaning. You may just think, okay, that's a completely lunatic, crazy, mentally disturbed person making videos. That would be reasonable to think that. But another view, if you follow my videos, is that I would like you to understand yourself as part of this cosmic process, which is actually a logical process. And one of the consequences of that is that education will become free for all, because everyone is unconsciously sharing his knowledge by publishing books or writing on the internet or making videos. But they do not understand themselves as being parts of this logical process of self-revelation of the absolute. And I'm trying my best to help people understand themselves as parts of this process. And the more people understand the process, the more they will share knowledge with others. And that's why anyone, any thinking creature, whatever his level of intelligence or education, will have a complete vision of the totality and his position within the totality. And that's why education will become free for all through technology, but actually through logic, because technology is just a development, a historical development of logic. So, and I am just trying to show those who are interested in my video the global picture, the broad picture of this. And yeah, that's my contribution to absolute knowing of the absolute itself in the process of absolutely understanding itself. So, yeah.